Hello, mommies and daddies. How are we all doing? I'm sure we're all doing very well. So, today we're going to be having the conversation on pornography, having the conversation about pornography with your 8-year-olds, your 9-year-olds, your 10-year-olds, up until your 12-year-old. I'm sure that a lot of parents will think that, oh, this is not important to me now. My child is still young. I don't need to have this conversation. So, the conversation we want to have today is to let you know why you should have this conversation, why it is important in the first place. And I would want us to start by defining what the word pornography is. And from the dictionary, it says that it is a sexual subject material such as videos, pictures, or text that is considered sexually arousing or that causes sexual excitement. You would agree with me that these days, all over the media, on TV, on billboards, there are a lot of content which are very sexual, whether we like it or not. That is pornography. So even before we say, oh, my daughter doesn't go to surf the net, my son doesn't go to watch those pictures or go to seek out those pictures, they are exposed to it without their consent, from driving on the road, the billboards we see, to the advertisement content. It is everywhere, it is in their faces. And the question we need to ask ourselves now is, at what point do our children get sexually excited when they see these things? You truly cannot tell. So a child had said to me one day, okay, I saw this picture, oh, and it made me feel this way. It made me feel that way. You truly have no control over how these things would actually make your children feel, and you see why the conversation is important. So, if we do not have these conversations, they probably will begin to feel that, oh, looking at this content, oh, it makes me feel a certain way. I think I like the feeling. And before you know it, they'll begin to seek out such content. So, from the moment where they become aware, from the moment where they begin to know these things, is from the moment we need to start having these conversations. That's why I honestly think that from the age of 8, we should begin to have these conversations with them. And somebody could ask, okay, oh, I looked at it once, I looked at it twice. Why is it a problem? It's a problem because it has a high risk of addiction, and you don't want your children getting addicted to anything. The truth is that the moment they become addicted to anything, it begins to affect their grades, it begins to affect their concentration in every other area of our lives. And we might have to ask ourselves the questions: what are the signs that my child might be watching pornography? The truth is that we expose our children to a whole lot. Some people give their children gadgets and they tell you, I have to do my homework. From doing their homework, you never know where they get into. You never know what other contents they begin to see. They could be exposed, and you never know. What are the signs you might need to look out for to tell you if your child has been exposed or not? Number one, increased isolation. When your child begins to isolate themselves a little more than normal, you might begin to worry about that. When the child that is used to socializing, used to mixing up when they come back from school, starts getting withdrawn, starts wanting to be alone, you might be concerned about that. When they become very secretive, they begin to hide their things, they begin to hide their gadgets, they want to use your phone, they tell you they have homework to do, they begin to hide. Increased secrecy, you should be worried. You should be worried. An increased casual use of sexual language. The truth is that in a lot of music videos, our children are exposed to pornography. You didn't actually tell them, oh, come and see, this is pornography. But you put MTV base in your house, you put Sound City, and these children are sitting and they are watching. What are they watching? They are watching naked people jingling and dancing all over on TV. They are being exposed to pornography. There's nobody sat down to tell their children, okay, this is how you, this is, no, 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 no. For some of them, they learned it at home. It wasn't their peers in school. It wasn't any older person. It was from what we expose our children to. You know, we need to be careful with the media content that our children consume. Some people will say, oh, my children watch Big Brother because they want to watch, oh, the games are very educational. At what cost? At what cost? They see a naked woman today, they see a naked man tomorrow, they see adults having casual sex, and it becomes normal to them. What do you think is next? Pornography wouldn't be a big deal to them because they have already been exposed to this thing. So we need to be particular, we need to be careful about the content our children consume. And then what can you do if you found out that, oh, your children have been exposed to this? What do you do? Have conversations about it. I would always tell parents, don't be over secretive. Don't have things that, oh, we don't talk about this in my house. Oh, nobody ever mentions sex in my house. Nobody, no, no, no. Make these things normal so that you can have conversations around it so that when they begin to struggle, they can remember your voice, remember what you said about that, and even be able to talk to you about it. When you realize your children are, getting addicted or exposed to this, don't laugh it off. Don't say, oh, they're just being children. Let them know the dangers. Let them understand that pornography is like quicksand. You think you're standing now, and the next moment you're sinking. Let them know. Don't laugh it off. And be grateful for the opportunity to have that conversation. Don't lose your mind. That's another thing. Oh, don't start shouting, oh, I've died, I've died, I've died, because you noticed your child was exposed to this. It's not the end of the world. You would still be able to help that child and work that child through it. Another vital thing we might need to do when we find out is to ask ourselves the question, how did this get to be? How is it getting into my home? Ask yourself those questions and begin to plug those leakages. If you're able to find out how it got into your home and address it, then you will be able to stop it from spreading. And lastly, examine your own relationship with pornography. When I say examine your own relationship with pornography, I'm not saying, oh, you go out of your way to go and get pornographic content. But when you're watching that particular show on TV, what are you exposing your child to? When you guys are seated and your children are allowed unfettered access to different types of content, what are you telling your child? What are you telling your child? So examine your own relationship with pornography, with the content that you watch. And at the end of the day, we'll be able to help our children through this. So it's a conversation we must have. Let them know what it is. Let your children know that going to touch any adult's phone is out of boundaries. Sometimes they go innocently, to look at one picture, and then from one picture they begin to scroll and begin to see things they're not supposed to see. So I think a major tool for protection is letting your children know that adults' phones are off limits. Even your own phone, they have no business going there. They have no business going there. Let them know what it is so that when they see, when they see it, they are able to identify it. They are able to tell you about it, and they are able to run away from it. So not having the conversation is dangerous because they can see these things and they don't know what it means. And from not knowing what it means, they get comfortable with it, which then becomes a problem. So have the conversation today. Little by little, let them know, oh, don't do this. Don't look at contents like this. Don't, when you see this, this is what you do. And we will be arming our children against something that has the potential to destroy them. God bless you.